Okay, today we are diving into custom GPTs in ChatGPT and how they can automate repetitive tasks that usually take 5 to 10 minutes each time. So I'm a really big fan of ChatGPT, and as soon as I got into it, I really wanted to explore the Plus version, which has a lot more features, and it helps me a lot in my business as a graphic designer and illustrator. So the Plus version has a lot of benefits. The first benefit is that it has a memory of who you are. So I can input a bit about myself into its memory. I can use my phone to do that, or I can input data into the account section at the bottom here. So it knows that I'm a 54-year-old man that lives in Australia. It knows my style of talking. It knows I like certain topics. It knows a lot about me, and it remembers that every time. So that's one really good selling point about the Plus version of GPT. I can tell it everything, like down to the operating system of my phone, my computer. So whenever I ask it a question about things that I regularly talk about, it has a background about me already. So the other great thing about the Plus version is that it has these little GPTs on the side that you can create, or they're available a bit like an app store. So you can go into, let's go into Explore GPTs here, and you can find all the suggested, almost like apps. You can find the suggested GPTs that do specific things, that have sort of a predisposition to do specific things. So you've got like the DALL-E 3 one where you're making images. You've got a colouring in book where you can make pictures for colouring in books. Creative writing coach. So rather than having to start from just asking GPT a general question and being very specific about what you want, you're starting from a point where it has an idea of where what you're heading towards. So I've made a GPT for my stock image side hustle. So when I'm not busy doing graphic design for clients, if I have a day off, I like to be productive. And I create images in Midjourney or DALL-E 3, and I try to sell them. So if I can find a niche in the market that no one else has explored or hasn't underexplored, I'll try and tap into that and sell those images. So I found a little bit of a niche the other day, which I found that it was missing decent images for glass half empty, glass half full. So I've tried to make a few different versions of that concept, and you can see some of my iterations here. And the best ones I've upsized. I've brought them into an image upsizer. I've brought them into Photoshop and sort of get them and to get them to a commercial level. And once I've got it to a commercial level, I've maybe added some typography to it. I go into my contributor account, which I signed up for a couple of years ago. And here's my favorite one. So glass half empty, half full. So that's the image I want to meta tag. So you don't just expect Adobe to meta tag it for you. You've got to do this manually. So you can they do have a suggested, glass of water. That's no good because that's not really what I'm trying to sell. I'm trying to sell a very specific half empty, half full, and it doesn't understand that yet. It has some basic things like glass water, but I really want to get across this idea of glass half empty, glass half full. So I would either type that in manually here and add all the keywords that I would expect for people to search for, which can take 5 to 10 minutes to do it well. And not all these images are going to necessarily sell. Like they might not ever sell. So I don't want to spend too much time meta tagging images that won't sell. They have generally have about a 30 to 40% chance of selling. Some of them can actually sell hundreds of times, which is really good, but you never really know which ones are going to get traction. You can see from my my dashboard that Some of my images have sold, in 2 years, one of them sold 140 times, one sold 107 times. But then if I go down my list, some of them have never sold. So it's a bit hit and miss. But yeah, I regress. I'm trying to show that, you don't want to spend too much time on these images if some of them aren't even going to sell. So let's go back to my uploaded example here. So I've got my uploaded images. This one here, if I wanted to meta tag that, I can manually do it, as I said before. But what I like to do to save a lot of time, and this channel is all about the shortcuts. I've made a custom GPT that is specifically for this purpose, for meta tagging images. It knows that when I upload an image, I want to give it a title and a description, and I've given it quite specific ways that I want it to do that. So all I have to do in this custom GPT is add the image. So I'm going to add this image, which I have in my downloads. I don't have to say anything because it's already, it knows the backstory. Excuse me, coming off the end of a cold here. Hit return. And straight away it's going to give me the title, a description, and the keywords with an insight into how I write this stuff normally. It knows my style of writing this. So I can copy this straight into here. I could copy the title in. If I want a longer title, I could use the description, some of the words in there, but I could copy that straight into there. I could copy the keywords straight out of there and put them into the keywords section. It's also suggesting some more that I could add. So I could add water, drink, liquid, just to beef it up a little bit. If I'm happy with that, I would just submit that as it is. You just make sure that it's, you're clicking AI generated image, and you submit the file, and then it just goes in for approval, and it will get hopefully approved in the next few days. So that's a really fast way of optimizing your workflow. So I've created a few of these. I've created one for my wife, who's a grade 3 teacher. So this helps her write school reports. I've got one for a screenplay that I'm currently working on. So this GPT remembers all of our past conversations, and I can slowly build up ideas for this screenplay as they come to me each day. So yeah, to make these custom GPTs, you click on this little side thing here. It's called Explore GPTs. So first of all, you can look at the ones like I showed you before. You can see the ones that are already pre-made, or you can create your own. So you just go create. You tell it what you want to call it. You say what the description is. You tell it what you want it to do, and I'll show you the one that I created for the stock image meta tagging. So my GPTs, and you'll just see how simple it is. It only really takes 10 minutes. It can be less, but it can be a little bit more. But if I go to edit this one, you can see it's got a name, it's got a description, it's got some basic instructions of what I want it to do. It's got some conversation starters, which I've suggested if I get stuck for ideas. I've also added a little bit of a knowledge base as far as like guidelines that Adobe want you to adhere to, so that doesn't go off the track. And that's pretty much it. Like once you've got that information in there, it knows from now on, whenever I click on that GPT and start a conversation, that's where we're headed. We're heading in that direction. Yeah, so I hope you got something out of this podcast. Hopefully encourages you to go and get the Plus account from ChatGPT and start exploring how it can help you speed up your workflow. And for me, if I did like 10 images a day, that saved me 1 or 2 hours of work. So that's awesome. So if you liked this video, follow these podcasts, follow the Shortcut Society. We have a website, theshortcutsociety.com. We're on YouTube and Instagram. So yeah, I hope to see you soon. And my wife always says, make sure you smile at the end. So, I'm smiling at the end. Okay, thanks. Bye.